A family of sea monsters lied about their identity for years, but one of them accidentally falls in the ocean and takes the city by terror. The ocean is a mysterious world, one that land dwellers can only imagine. Of course, we think that we know what lies beneath the surface, but the sea creatures who live there, even if we have imagined them, we have imagined them wrong. For example, the mythical krakens. We imagine them as bloodthirsty monsters, sinker of ships, and drowner of sailors. But in real life, krakens are noble protectors. They live peacefully in disguise until the sea needs a kraken, and a kraken will always answer the call. The Gillmans are also a family of krakens. They disguise themselves as humans and claim to be Canadians if someone asks about their blue skin. There's one strict rule in the family: never get near the ocean. But this rule is stopping 15-year-old Ruby Gillman from going to prom, as it is happening on a ship. Her friend gives her encouragement to ask her mother, but Ruby is feeling really nervous. She even prepares a whole presentation in which she explains that she will only stay on the boat and there's no chance of a storm either. Moreover, the sailor is a trustworthy man. Her mother, Agatha, admires the efforts Ruby put in the presentation, but the answer is still a no. Ruby begs her mother, but she is not changing her decision. They moved here to find a safe place to live without getting caught. They can't take risks. However, Agatha never told the real reason why they couldn't go in the ocean. She only scares the kids with the story of sea monsters. After the conversation ends, Ruby goes to school. On her way, she gets on a video call with her friends Margot, Trevin, and Bliss. They all are disappointed after hearing that Ruby didn't get permission. They meet up near the ocean, and Margot announces that someone asked her to go to prom with him, and she agreed. While Trevin and Bliss have decided to go together as friends. The only one left is Ruby. If her mom had agreed, she could ask her crush Connor to join her to the prom. Unfortunately, there's no way she can go. Her friends don't feel good going without her, so they insist Ruby lie to her mom and sneak into the prom. Ruby feels nervous at first, but she eventually agrees. Later at school, the girls discuss how to ask Connor for prom. Suddenly, Connor walks in and tells Ruby to catch up with him later. Ruby's friends give her a confetti cannon, and she rushes to meet Connor. However, Connor finds it cringe that everyone is going too far with their prom proposals. They can simply just ask. Hearing this, Ruby gives up the idea of confetti and tries to ask Connor directly. But before she can, Connor spots the cannon and presses its button out of curiosity. He gets knocked into the ocean and starts drowning. With no other option left, Ruby jumps in the water. She falls unconscious at first, but then her body starts to glow. Tentacles grow out of her and she takes the form of an actual kraken. She grabs Connor and throws him out of the water. After getting back to normal size, she goes to check on Connor. He has regained consciousness and doesn't remember what happened. The new girl in school, Chelsea, takes all the credit for saving Connor and becomes popular. She feels curious about Ruby's skin color and steps forward to meet her. Ruby's hands start glowing again, so she runs away to the library. Her body keeps expanding and she eventually turns into a giant monster. She is still afraid to call her mother, believing that her mother will get really angry. Agatha is a real estate agent and she is handling some clients right now. She suddenly notices a blue giant in the woods and recognizes it as her daughter. Agatha leaves in a hurry and finds her brother Brill on the way. She pulls him in the car and keeps following her daughter. Ruby hides behind a tower and refuses to face her mother. The poor girl calls herself a monster, which breaks Agatha's heart. She steps forward and requests Ruby to have a word with her. She starts talking about a sweet moment from Ruby's childhood when she looked after a whale. This calms down Ruby and she turns back to normal size. They all get back home and Agatha introduces Brill to the family because this is his first visit. Afterward, she explains to Ruby that the females of their family have the ability to turn into giant krakens. Soon, Ruby will learn to control it like Agatha did. Ruby's younger brother Sam is really fascinated by the story and requests Ruby to show her giant form, but she is not happy about this at all. She grew up hearing that the sea is full of monsters, but she didn't know she herself is a monster. She is already trying so hard to fit in with the humans. Hiding gills, lying about the skin color, and pretending to have a spine is not easy. So, how she is going to hide her giant form? Ruby doesn't want to talk to anyone and locks herself in her bedroom. After a while, she walks out and accidentally hears Brill requesting Agatha to tell the whole truth, but she refuses to do it and she kicks his brother out of the house. Ruby feels suspicious and decides to find the truth by herself. She sneaks out of the house and starts looking for Uncle Brill. He is getting attacked by the birds near the ocean. Ruby helps him and asks who sent him to their house. Brill tries to hide the facts, but his tongue slips, and he mentions Ruby's grandmother. Ruby gets really excited to hear that and wants to meet her grandmother. She distracts Brill and jumps into the ocean. Within seconds, she turns into a giant glowing kraken. Brill follows her and decides to help her out. He gives her a tour of the ocean and takes her to the kingdom of krakens. There she meets her grandmother, who prefers to be called Grandmama. Ruby also gets to know that she belongs to a royal family. She is a princess. Grandmama advises her to forget about her past life as she is meant to do bigger things. All the krakens are really happy to meet her and cheers up for her. Grandmama is the warrior queen of 7 seas, and Ruby will take the throne after her. Her responsibility will include ruling over the ocean, taking care of sea creatures, and fighting with the other monsters. They include the deadly leviathans, umibozu, but the worst of them are the mermaids. Ruby finds it surprising as mermaids are imagined as gorgeous, harmless creatures. But Grandmama reveals that mermaids are cruel and selfish creatures, and their queen Nerissa is even worse. She wants to rule the ocean and enslave the sea creatures. Usually mermaids are weaker than krakens, but Nerissa had found an ancient weapon called the Trident of Oceanus. It's the only weapon powerful enough to defeat a giant kraken. They all would have been killed if Agatha hadn't fought so bravely. She was the greatest warrior. She fought against the Trident and won. It was a glorious moment for the krakens, but Agatha refused to continue the battle. She hid the Trident and abandoned her species to live on the land. Ruby isn't a kraken turning into a giant kraken. She is a kraken hiding as a human. It's time for her to accept her identity. But Ruby is not ready to accept this all and wants to go back home. Grandmama also lets her go because she knows Ruby will return soon. No one can run from his destiny. On her way back, Ruby gets caught by Captain Gordon. She tries to use the laser eye beam like her grandmother, but fails. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Chelsea reaches there to help her. She is also not a human, but a mermaid. After rescuing Ruby, Chelsea offers to be her sea girl bestie. She always wanted a friend to talk about her secret, but Ruby is not in the mood right now. She just wants to go home and pretends that today never happened. The next morning, she wakes up and heads outside. Everyone is talking about the monster that destroyed the library. Even Ruby's friends seem really afraid of the monster. Ruby is having a panic attack and she rushes to the school's restroom. There she finds Chelsea and asks for her help. Ruby has been here for years but still didn't fit in, and Chelsea became the most popular girl in just a few days. Ruby wants to be like her too, but Chelsea believes that Ruby can be even better. But first they need a super sea girl ditch day. They sneak out of the school and hang out in the ocean being themselves. They visit all the 7 seas in just 7 hours. Chelsea can't believe Ruby's mom hid such an important truth from her. She hates hiding. All the mermaids hid away after the Trident War, but Chelsea escaped. Ruby wishes that there was no war and krakens and mermaids could live in peace. Chelsea says that there's actually a way. If they find the Trident and make it a peace symbol, the mermaids and krakens will realize that they can live without the war. Ruby loves the idea and agrees to Chelsea's plan. She takes Ruby to the Well of Seas. It's the source of the ocean's energy and the place where the Trident is hidden. Chelsea knows it because her mother was Nerissa, who tragically died in the war. Ruby feels sorry for her and promises that she will end the war by bringing back the Trident. To enter the Well of the Seas, Ruby needs more power. Therefore, she heads to Grandmama and asks for training. After each training session, Ruby tries to enter the Well of the Seas. She fails several times but doesn't give up. However, she is leaving behind her life on land. She doesn't hang out with her friends anymore and doesn't even answer Connor's phone call. Poor Guy is walking around with a rose to ask Ruby to prom, but she doesn't seem interested anymore. She keeps working on her training and she almost reaches the Trident, but her low self-esteem doesn't let her continue. Ruby decides to do what she has never done before. She will ask her mother for advice. Meanwhile, Agatha learns about Captain Gordon, who is after the krakens like crazy, so she sends her husband and brother to distract the old guy. They trick Gordon into catching one of their glowing pets and they lie that it's a baby kraken. Gordon gets really happy and stops his search. Agatha is also doing great at work and throws a party to celebrate. Ruby shows up and mentions visiting the ocean. Agatha takes her inside and hears the full story. She immediately forbids Ruby from going to the ocean or meeting Chelsea. Ruby gets angry and refuses to let Agatha make her life decisions. She doesn't want to live this fake life anymore. Agatha advises her to calm down, but she gets into her full form and escapes to the ocean. After 15 years, Agatha returns to the ocean to ask her mother for help. She mentions Nerissa's daughter Chelsea, but Grandmama reveals that Nerissa didn't have a daughter at all. Meanwhile, Ruby's powers are overflowing because of her anger, and she succeeds in bringing back the Trident. As soon as she gives it to Chelsea, the mermaid gets into her original form. She is actually Nerissa. Mermaids never age, so she made this all plan to use Ruby to get the Trident. Ruby's mother was right. She is just a teenager who doesn't know enough. With the help of Trident, Nerissa turns into a giant monster and threatens the humans. The prom night is going on as well, and all the students witness the shocking view. Both Agatha and Grandmama attack Nerissa, but she seems unbeatable. Brill rushes underwater and talks to Ruby. He tells her how much Agatha loves her. She gave up her everything so Ruby can have a normal life without the responsibility of protecting the whole ocean. Ruby realizes her mistakes and gets up to help her mother. She fights with Nerissa with all her might, and the whole town is witnessing the Great War. Ruby's friends have seen her true form, but they aren't afraid of her. In fact, they cheer her up to beat the evil mermaid. Ruby wants to destroy the trident and the war forever, but she needs the help of her mother and grandmother. The three ladies join hands and combine their laser beams to attack the trident. The weapon breaks and leaves Nerissa helpless. She gets caught by Gordon while the Krakens are declared as heroes. Ruby and her mom promise each other that they will never lie to each other or hide anything. Agatha hugs her daughter and tells her to go and enjoy her prom. Ruby steps out of the water dressed in a glittery outfit with a gorgeous headband. She feels nervous at first, but her friends assure her that she is a hero now. Connor finally gets a chance to ask Ruby for prom, and of course she accepts the proposal gladly. Afterward, they dance all night and enjoy the event. Krakens don't have to hide anymore. No one is afraid or disgusted by them. They are now the saviors of town as well as the sea. Ruby is finally fitting in with the humans, but whenever the sea needs a Kraken, Ruby answers the call. No one can love a child more than her mother. The restrictions that seem too much are just to protect the child. Sometimes the child needs to understand, and sometimes the mother needs to explain a little more.